Yo, what's good, guys? We are back at it again with another MLB The Show video for you guys. And today, I gotta make a second one of these videos. It's insane because this is almost the same part of the season last season where I made this video. We gotta talk about the content. There is nothing to do on this game right now. It is completely barren. There is nothing to sink your time into in a very crucial part of this game's lifespan, right? When you look into the future, you got college football coming out, you got Madden coming out, and then after that, you have stuff like Call of Duty coming out, like 2K coming out. You are going to lose so much of the player base, and there's nothing to do. Their response is nothing. It's just silence. When you look at this season, it looks like we've gotten a lot, right? It looks like, oh, this has been a pretty jam-packed season. Well, you know, when you take into account that they left this here, the starter program is, was here from last season. This Lou Gehrig program was here from last season. And then you look at these, right? These three drops, the season awards. This is Tops Now content from last year and the year before that. We used to get this like every Tuesday. We used to get this. It's the most low effort, lazy content that they can do. They just go get the players of the week off MLB's website, pick out a picture from that game, and give them a card. It's not difficult. It's not hard content. Actual programs, so far we have gotten the Tatis and Acuna program, the Architect program, which was awesome at the start of the season. Very reminiscent of spring training. And then we got this kind of underwhelming all-star program, which is whatever. And then we got this London series. I mean, do we even want to call this a program? You used Mets and you used Phillies, and you completed this within 15 minutes to get a non-sale pack of some cards that weren't very good. It's insane. It is insane. It is almost identical to how last season started. And I made a rant video going over the content from last season. I mean, when you go down and look at this, like actually go down and look, we got this, basically the Architect, right, was there from day one. We got the Easter program, and then we got 3 awards drops, and then a lackluster Jackie Robinson program. It is basically identical. They just want the game to die at this point. I don't understand how the content can be this barren when we had this problem last season. We had this problem last season when we had to bully them into actually coming out with semi-competent content week after week. And now we're going to have to do the same thing, except I don't think enough people care. I don't think enough people want to tell them to do the same thing. I don't know what gives a SDS. I don't know if they've had layoffs or if they put a large amount of the team onto working on next year's game, which is hopefully all next gen, and they're going to have to like rework some like stuff in the hitting engine and stuff like that, and they need a large portion of the team to be on next year's game, or what? Because the only other explanation I can think of is the passion's just gone, and they just don't care at this point, because it's not in the community, right? I think baseball is kind of at a high point in recent history of its popularity, and you look at the game, and this is probably the most dead it's ever. This is like January, February, like April content, bro. Like, this is ridiculous when you look at the game and how many people are on it. Like, you can be sitting in events and look for a game for like 15, 20 seconds. It's events. There's no skill-based matchmaking. It should not take that long. If you're queuing up late at night for BR, you might have to sit there and wait 30 seconds to find a BR match. It is absolutely criminal what they've done to the game. They just don't care. That's the impression they give, is they don't care. Because I genuinely do not know what they do in the office. I don't know if they just hop on a Zoom call and talk about content that they're going to put out 2 weeks from now and then get started on it a week after that, or what? Because nothing explains the severe lack of content. There's no way they think Team Affinity, A, people actually want to grind it like that, B, that it's going to take weeks and weeks and weeks for people. I don't know. Maybe they are so focused on Team Affinity and coming out with the next Team Affinity cards and getting all those made, that's why we get no content? I don't know, but it doesn't really make sense because last year we got good content and there were 90 Team Affinity cards per drop. So I don't understand. And then I want to talk about ranked at some point too, because I feel like they've kind of ruined that mode. But let's talk about the XP path. I saw a tweet from Nutsy saying he was at, I think it was like 600, 700,000 XP. And he said he's only logged on the double XP weekends. And that's the approach that a lot of people are taking. Because it's just, why? Why would you grind it? They need to get away from this format. At most, I think the season reward pass should be monthly. I think the way it was in the past was good enough where it lasted roughly a month and you had 3 bosses towards the end. And you got some of them non-sale, maybe. No sales like the biggest scam I think they've ever introduced in the game. But you have people that have all 3 99s already. And that might sound crazy to some people, but if you've ran all your mini seasons and you've played every day, including the double XP weekends, you could easily be there. 100%. This is such a flawed format. It completely ruins the game for some people. Some people cannot log on every day. Some people, like, they're decentivized to use cards, which I get, right? Because I'm going to talk about it in ranked here in a second. But why do I want to use these cards? Legitimately. Why? Give me a good reason to want to use these cards. I've used every card in my starting lineup, and you can sit here and say that's an indictment on me and that I shouldn't want to use the same cards all the time, but at the same point, I'm trying to win games, right? When we go look at ranked, they have ruined ranked. Ranked now is just a checklist for players for the bigger picture. Like, you play ranked to get your collector level up and to get your XP up. You do not play ranked for why you've played it in the past, right? In the past, top end players like me, yeah, like it was more so about the sprint to World Series to sell those cards for a boatload of stubs. But for your average Joe, it was about using the cards that you've grinded for. You go into ranked to debut and use the cards you've grinded for. And that feels dead now, honestly. Who am I going to use? Tatis and Acuna? When Acuna has a just as good card that I imagine most people have probably used at this point in the year. That's not fun, honestly. Like, nobody's going into ranked to try out the new cards that they've gotten. Now they've basically ruined it. Like, cool, man. Good servers. Good servers. Don't even get me started on the servers. This is why you play ranked at this point. This is why 99% of people play ranked. The spirit of ranked is dead from this game. You play ranked to complete this checklist right here. That's why you load up ranked right now. To get your non-sale World Series and to not miss out on a boatload of XP. That's it. And a consequence of this is at low ranks, you have bots running around for stub selling websites, grinding out this Matt Holiday and just selling infinite ones of them, ruining the low ranked pool for lower ranked players. Because you have stuff like this in the game. Make him non-sale, make him exclusive, make people play ranked to use him or something. I don't know. They've ruined ranked in my eyes. It's not what it used to be. You can still sprint to World Series, so for me, I guess it's not really ruined because that's why I play ranked in general. But for your average Joe, like, why? Why do you want to play ranked? There's no cards to debut anyway. You're just using the same cards. Like, how many games do I have on Corey Seager? I have 180 games on Corey Seager. I have 165 on Mookie Betts. I have 190 on Mike Trout. I have 130 on Acuna. I've used those cards. I know what they're capable of. And because of the way the season is structured to reset, they are the best cards at their positions, and I'm expected to use them again. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, it takes all the fun out of ranked, I feel like. The whole point of the season refresh, right, is for people to be incentivized to use new cards that maybe they haven't used before, or to shed a light on certain cards, right? Like the new Polanco that we just got is awesome. This is probably the best ever Polanco relative to the meta that we've ever had in the game. 118, 100 is well above most contacts for most players, and his power's in a good spot. And if you run the Devers boost, he is a god. Yeah, the fielding's really bad, but you could honestly DH him if you want to. And 86 speed, that's really fast for a Polanco card. Like, this is why the seasons formats are cool. Because you get a Jorge Polanco that is way better than every other Polanco ever. You get an Eduardo Escobar that's the best Eduardo Escobar we've ever gotten. But then the downside of it is that Mookie Betts is about to start his 200th game for my Diamond Dynasty team. Like, it's absolutely wild. They've kind of ruined the game in a way with their format. I think they've ruined ranked. I think BR is what it has been for years. It's a checklist mode at this point. You kind of go back and just, you know, you're completing it for one of these non-sale 91s. And in the past, when it wasn't non-sale, I think it was more worth it. But who really wants to boost their collector level by 1 level to go get this Castilla or Musina that aren't necessarily the best card? Really, you're doing it BR for collector level and XP. Everything goes back to that. The collector level being the way it is, and the XP path being the way it is, just kind of simplifies everything. It makes ranked almost irrelevant. It makes events almost irrelevant. It makes BR almost irrelevant. And it kind of just blurs all of them into the same thing. You're just playing to get XP. You're just playing to get more cards to do your collector level. And everything's just a blur. I don't think anything is unique in any way. This card, right? A lot of people are going to use this Yasmani. A ton of people already use this Team Affinity card. There were people hitting top 50, hitting 1,000 rated, using the 89 one that we got from last Team Affinity. Like, everybody's already used all these cards. I think this is the downsides of seasons. Like, there's nothing new in the game. In ranked, like, you're using the same cards that you used last season. And there's no new cards coming out. I think out of this entire menu, Castellanos is vaguely interesting. Tatis is cool. Acuna's cool. Like, we got off to a really hot start at the season. And then other than that, I think Jackson Merrill's the only card that I'm halfway interested in. And he doesn't look great, but at least it's a cool card. He's, I believe, a rookie. He plays every single position, and I believe he has a pretty solid swing. Other than that, like, why am I playing this season? It feels like almost a waste of time at this point. And that sucks to say. But the passion, it feels like, is gone from the community. Every day, a insane grinder puts the controller down for the last time this year, maybe even for this franchise. And MLB's just doing nothing about it. And it starts at the top. Because I promise you, the community is not getting bored of MLB The Show. That's not the problem. Baseball, if anything, is a game you learn to love and appreciate more as you get older. And I feel like MLB The Show is somewhat like that, where like a little kid might find it interesting. All right, when you're 13, you might just want to hit fastballs down the middle for home runs every time. But as you grow and, you know, turn into a functioning adult, I feel like you kind of, you know, you enjoy the nuances of the game. And so I don't think the passion's dying from the community. I think it starts at the top. I think there is something wrong at SDS for this to be the content that we're getting. It feels like the writing's on the wall, honestly. Like, when I started this YouTube channel, I did not think this would ever be a full-time job or anything like that. There's only a couple people in the community that get to have the privilege of doing that. But I thought it would be a solid side hustle for years to come. And now I'm starting to doubt that, because the writing's kind of on the wall. Unless something dramatically shifts, this game will be dead by the All-Star game. Yes, a lot of people would already label this game dead in the water. You have Kyle going back and making videos on MLB 21. You have Chev playing MLB 16. Like, what are we doing here, man? This is ridiculous. Like, it's just, it's a lack of passion from them, honestly. Like, I don't get it. There's no way with a straight face you legitimately expect people to log on to this game on a daily or bi-daily basis and hit the XP cap when there's like 3 things to do. You log on for the season, you run through the ranked path, which is disadvantageous if you do it earlier in the season before they unlock the 100 stars. You go finish your BR, you do whatever events available, and then if you're a real grinder, you go play mini seasons. That's it. That's the gameplay loop, and it's the exact same, and that's what I mean. It has blurred into one thing. Like, oh, I want Derek Jeter later in the season. Well, I have to play ranked. I have to play BR. I have to play mini seasons, which is ironic because they said they wanted to make the offline grind just as rewarding as the online grind this year. They wanted to make it to where you could achieve anything in the game by playing your preferred modes, and that looks like a bold-faced lie at this point. Because if you want to get these cards, much less be one of the first people to get these cards, you have to do everything. You have to spam every single mode. And the messed up thing is people have had these bosses for like a week now at this point. Like, it's crazy, man. I don't know what the solution is. I can't. You know, if I worked at SDS, would I go home and log on to the game and play for hours? No, probably not. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I would, but they have to outsource feedback somehow. They got to like throw creators a little check on this. Hey, I bet you some creators would do it for free, but they need like Ramon and like the head gameplay dude and like the head content guy to just have one day out of the month where they just hop in Zoom calls and Skype calls with creators and just talk about what they think of the general direction of the game. Because SDS clearly does not have a heartbeat for it. They do not understand how to run the game. Like, I've said it multiple times on stream. It's clear they do not play their own game. And that's fine. I wouldn't either. Like I said, if I worked at SDS after a long day, I probably wouldn't want to log on and play this either. But the fact that gameplay is the worst it's been in years, and the content is probably the worst it's ever been in the game, it's just not good. Because you already had a lot of people that said, oh, screw these monthly XP pass. I'm not touching the game. I can't log on every day. It's not even worth my time. And they deleted the game. Or you already had people that said, well, I'm just going to wait till 99s come out because what's the point of playing with 90s when there'll be 99s? I think that's very short-sighted and not a good way of looking at it. But how many of those people do you actually think are going to come back and log on to the game? It's not a lot. There's just... it's such a pivotal year for the game, and I think they have just completely crapped their pants this year. Like, this is brutal. Gameplay is one of the worst years I can remember. I missed out on like MLB 18 for some reason. I just never played that one. I heard horror stories about that, but the content's the worst I think it's ever been. Even with the all-star content we got, which is not very good either. Mainly all we got was like pack store stuff. Like, oh, they came out with a new Pablo Lopez and new chase card and new season awards where like one of the cards is actually good. And you're not going to be able to pull them out the free packs that you get. Like, I don't know. I don't want to end the video on a down note, but I just do not know what direction this game goes in. Because if it stays like it is right now, if they want to keep player counts even halfway respectable, they got to do a double XP weekend every single weekend. The weekend should just be double XP. Because at this point, it's ridiculous. I just finished Elden Ring, the new DLC, and the amount of love and care and attention to detail that goes into that game is such a stark contrast to this game. Like, the fact that we have had 2 glitches in this game, and I think that's all. That's probably not all of them. I don't have a list of every single glitch that exists in the game, but the fact that we had the 2-way player stamina glitch, and the fact you can still bring in relievers without warming them up out the bullpen. Stuff that was in last year's game. and it's still in this year's game is mind-boggling. It's insane. Not only that, people have figured out you can throw circle changes by just flicking up the stick on pinpoint. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, where's the testing? Where's the quality assurance? This is why you need to have a closed or open beta for the game. Like, it is absolutely insane how rushed this game feels. It feels like they rushed to get it out, and then they just couldn't care less after they put the game out. Like, I need a reason. There needs to have been layoffs, or most of the team has to be like focused on next year's game or something, because the only other explanation I can come up with is they just do not care and the passion is gone at this point. It is absolutely ridiculous that there's basically nothing to do on the game right now. And yeah, I feel like I had to say something. I had to put another video out there because it's a growing sentiment, and hopefully SDS can course correct it. If they don't, you won't see another one of these videos all year. I'll still make content. I don't know how many people are gonna watch it, but I'll still make it. Till next time.